Our CX teams especially, our sales people, our marketing professionals, our service professionals, they're expected to do so much more with so much less. They're under so much pressure. And so the agents, the AI, the tools that are embedded within their systems, it's a force multiplier for those teams so that they can do what they do best and not have to go fetch lots of stuff. That's the work we can give to agents.
Welcome to Content Kingdom. This is your backstage pass to the people, tools, and the trends shaping the future of content marketing.
And welcome to another episode of Content Kingdom. I'm your host, David G. Ewing, and we are doing Content Kingdom in the wild in Las Vegas. And with me is Michelle Brusyo, who is, and I had to write this down, the Senior Director of Product Strategy for CX, AI, and Platform.
Yeah, it's long, and you've also known me
long
enough that that's probably my 15th title.
I think I've known you longer than the title. So,
yeah.
So it's been a while. But this is quite a job, and you've been thrown into it, right? So I think, Michelle, just so that our listeners can start to get a feel for who you are, walk us through the current level of responsibility, and then I want to know how you got here. But let's start there. So what are you doing these days?
Since about May, I've taken on responsibility for our AI strategy, our go-to-market strategy for how we talk about AI, how we message, how we demonstrate AI, how we get our customers adopting AI across all of our customer experience applications. So everything from marketing to sales to service, telling that story across the entire customer lifecycle and just talking to lots and lots of customers about how they get started adopting our AI features.
Got it. And I know that, you had told me once long ago that when you were in kindergarten, they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? You were like, well, I want to be, CX AI. Like, that's my thing, right?
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, everybody, back in the 80s and 90s was like, let's do that. So talk to me, how did you get here?
Well, I started in Oracle about 10, 11 years ago in the Service Cloud. So I did my tour of service. I went from technical product management to product strategy, and then I expanded out over to the sales products.
Okay.
And then I got responsibility for the marketing products. So lots of empire building going on there. I got hands-on involved in all of the products across CX, which made me a pretty good candidate for taking on this kind of responsibility.
Got it. Now, one of the things that I think, hopefully this doesn't make you too mad, but when Oracle 3 months ago was like, wait, Cloud World? No, scratch. And they were like, it's AI World. I kind of rolled my eyes and was like, is it really AI World? But I gotta say, like, having gone to the show and been here, you guys have backed it up. So in your mind, what backs up the claim that this truly is AI World and not just Cloud World with a new name?
I mean, I know it's in my job title, but I have not had a single conversation at this conference that has not been grounded in AI. How do we get started on our AI journey? What can we access now? What should we be thinking about? What are other customers doing? What are customers like me thinking about? What are they asking you? That's the entire conversation, start to finish, is grounded in AI.
It is. And it's funny because we just had a QBR here in the podcast suite, and I won't talk about who they were, but this is a company that in 2024 said to me, David, don't ever mention AI, because if you mention AI, you're fired. And that was 24. And then in 25, it's been like, hey, this AI thing looks kind of cute and interesting, and I did something that's neat. And now it's like, oh my God, if we don't have AI in 26, we're gone, right?
No,
like
you can't move
we're going to
fast
be
enough.
fired if we don't have AI in 26,
Absolutely.
right? So the switch has flipped here. So at the same time, one of the things that I've seen Oracle say at the show is 97%, and I don't know if it's exactly 97, but 97% of all AI initiatives that businesses have tried have failed, right? So everybody wants to do this thing with AI. Nobody's actually doing it. So you guys have a plan, right? Imagine your plan. It's in your title. So
I had that statistic on my slides in two of my sessions so
that's
far.
Probably where I saw it.
You might have seen it there. So that came out of an MIT study that released about a month or so ago, and it's all anybody would talk about for about 3 weeks, because we have gone through this massive buildup of hype around AI, and everybody wants to try it, and it's a shiny new toy. that's how we got to that statistic, because everybody jumped in without thinking about, what are the measurable results I want to see out of this AI project. So the 95% wasn't necessarily that the projects failed, but they failed to deliver a return on the investment. And I think that's mainly because we're still in an experimental phase. And I don't want that statistic to scare our customers, because the worst place they could be is in this analysis paralysis phase where they don't want to start because they don't want to fail. You have to start.
You have to start, I guess, and be willing to fail, because that's just, like some Edison quote. That's like the stepping stone before you get to the promised land, right? So, okay, so that's great. So talk to us about what is it that you're doing? What's Oracle doing in the CX space to make sure that AI is not a failure? Like, what's the plan here?
Absolutely. So the number one thing that we're doing that is going to change the game for customers and not allow them to fail is that we're taking the responsibility for building the AI capabilities right into the products that they're already using, that they're already licensed for. So it takes away a lot of that uncertainty of how do we get started, how do we govern this, how do we know that it's secure, how do we know that the right users can be doing the right things, how do we create this new use case based on this brand new advancement that just came out yesterday. Don't worry about that stuff.
Okay.
That is what the massive team at Oracle is working on all the time. I've never seen Oracle move so fast in 11 years working here. I can't hardly keep up with how quickly we're getting the advancements out to our customers. And then all they need to do is turn it on in their environment, test it out, give it to their sellers or their marketers or their service teams, and try it right in the product. So they're 100 steps ahead right from the beginning.
Yeah. You and I did a webinar, I think 60 days ago.
Yeah.
And you were going through all the different things that people want to turn on. And then I had a few minutes at the end. And I said to everybody there, hey, turning on these features is like a 3-minute exercise. And come to Motive Academy and we've got a little video and it shows you how to turn it on. And we had I think 1/4 to 1/2 of the people that were on the thing signed up immediately and started doing it. So the appetite is there. I've never seen anything like that before. That was incredible. So let's make this specific then. So give me just one example of something that you can do that would have been science fiction like a year ago.
So I'll give you a very practical example. And it's the one that I recommend a lot of our customers start out with, because the reason why you had all those signups out of that webinar is that a lot of customers are nervous that their data is not in the right place to get going with, very sophisticated data science, machine learning kind of features that are going to predict something or calculate something or take an action on something. An easier category of AI to get started on right now is the generative AI capabilities that are happening within the products.
Okay.
That the advancements in generative AI and large language models happen so quickly, the pace of it was breakneck speed of getting from, oh, this sort of works to this is beautiful.
Yeah,
this is
it's
science
incredible.
fiction. Yes. So now that's the thing that can be turned on right away. It doesn't require, that you feel super comfortable with your data foundation. It's just writing tools within the flow of work for the people who are doing marketing work or selling work or service work. So when they're, having to write an email or make a presentation or respond to a service request, the contents just appears for them. And if that's not science fiction, what is?
Yeah. So, all right. So let's say I'm a salesperson. I'm selling industrial equipment, right, to manufacturers. And I got a big bid going on, and an email comes in from the customer at the 11th hour, and they've got some technical questions. Is that something that's going to help me there, or is it going to help me position the sale, or is it going to help me advise me? What's it going to help me do if I'm in that 11th hour of the sale and that red flag email comes in late?
Yeah.
What's it going to do for me?
Well, that's where we get into some really exciting advancements in AI, where Oracle really shines is having all the context around that email that came in. It seems like a very simple, transaction of email respond, but when you think about the human requirements to respond to that email. Do I have to go look something up? Do I have to go ask this other team? Do I have to verify a discount, right? There's all these work streams that have to happen, and the sales rep is trained to know what those are. In the world of AI, we can know all of that context. We can make all of that context available to a model that can then either just tell the sales rep the answer or answer.
Okay. And so, the other half of AI is everybody freaking out about losing their job, right? I always wonder if I'm going to lose my job. Like maybe nobody needs podcasts anymore. They'll just, make an AI podcast. But what do you say to someone who's a salesperson who's selling that industrial equipment and this AI tool from Oracle comes out? Do we need that person anymore?
We absolutely do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
And I did an entire session on this yesterday called
Okay.
The Rise of the Prompt Professional.
Okay.
And the whole premise of it is our CX teams, especially our salespeople, our marketing professionals, our service professionals, they're expected to do so much more with so much less. They're under so much pressure, and there's so much context that they need to keep up with and understand. And at the same time, the expectation of a buyer or an existing customer is elevated more and more and more as they're getting access to always on answers, instant personalized experiences. There is no threshold of patience for not giving me exactly what I want the moment I want it. And that's not something we can do as human beings without help. And so the agents, the AI, the tools that are embedded within their systems, it's a force multiplier for those teams so that they can do what they do best and not have to go fetch lots of stuff. That's the work we can give to agents.
Okay.
And so the advice that I was giving in that presentation yesterday is, treat those agents like coworkers. It's expanding your team. It's not replacing your job.
So it's like you got a promotion and you're like the director of a sales team now.
Absolutely.
As opposed to being a frontline salesperson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's that old adage that says AI is not going to replace people, but people who use AI are going to replace people who don't use AI.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Okay, great. So if level one is we flip the generative AI features on and it starts to look at context and it's taking advantage of all the data that's in the Fusion stack to make intelligent responses or recommended responses to the customer, great. What's the next level up? What's the next rung on the ladder?
Well, the next phase of how AI is going to change the game for these roles in particular is completely agent-based applications.
Okay.
So right now we are supercharging the way marketing apps work and selling apps work and service apps work and doing all sorts of automation within them. But they're still sort of designed to work the same way they have all along, but with all of these embedded AI tools that are making things a lot more efficient. In the new world of AI agents, the application almost disappears, right? It's just an engagement point for a human being to interact with an agent, and the agent's teams then go off and do all of the work. Okay. And so visualize it this way. Let's say you're a sales manager and you have an entire sales team and you need to understand your forecast. Today, you would go into your application and you would access a dashboard and you'd interpret everything on that dashboard. And maybe AI starts coming along and summarizing that for you. And that's kind of where we are today. In the future, no dashboard, right? The AI agent will come and tell you what you need to know about your forecast. Why do you have a forecast? Because you want to understand the risk. You want to understand what actions you need to take based on what the forecast looks like. The agent will just give the sales manager that information.
So the agent is looking at the forecast and saying, you're a little shaky here. You've got two major deals, and if one of them doesn't make it, you don't make your number. So you've got to hit these two majors, that type of stuff.
Right.
And then it might analyze those deals for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the other aspect of dashboards that we're so used to, working with them a certain way is you see the dashboard and you think, this is great information, but I kind of need it to show me this other aspect or this other dimension. And then you have to build a new report, build a new dashboard, maybe even go to IT, which is not what we want to do. Please build me a report that shows me this information. This is what I actually need to know. In the world of AI agents, you just ask the agent and it interprets the request and builds the report and it shows you the dashboard.
Okay.
It's a completely different way of doing all aspects of sales, service, and marketing.
That is incredible. And so talk to me about where Oracle's at with that right now. So this second rung on the ladder, are we ready for that right now? Or is it
yes.
like slightly into the future?
This is not the future. This is
Now.
today.
You can do this
yes.
now.
The examples I just gave you are available now to our customers. But what we are piloting with some early adopters and internally at Oracle, which we always start with ourselves.
Yep.
And we have a massive sales organization that has I can't hardly even picture how many products and services they have to understand.
A lot.
And say, you know better than I do.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. They have to know and keep up with all these products, all these markets, all these competitive scenarios. What does this product do? How do we price it? What are the metrics? How does a human being stay on top of all of that? That's not possible. So we built the first agentic-based application for those sellers, for the selling team to be able to keep up with the scope of their role. And the way that we're doing that is rethinking the way that sales enablement works and the content that drives sales enablement. We've given it a different direction. So let me explain. So my job, I'm part of a go-to-market team. My job is to be an expert on AI and CX. And so a lot of what I do, and I know a lot of what you do as well, is we go talk to salespeople.
Yep.
And we're like, pay attention to this new product that we just made, and these are all the things you need to know about it. Here's the specs, and here's all the PowerPoints, and here's all the data sheet. And we make all of this content, and we try to make it consumable and memorable, and we want the sales reps to be as just amazed with this product as we are because we built it. That's not happening. They might look at it for a moment and get excited, but then they move on to help customers.
Right.
That's their job.
Right.
So what we've done is we've built the sales application for me, for people like me.
Okay.
I have the expertise, and I used to spend a lot of time making the content look very pretty and consumable.
Yeah.
Now I just make the content for the large language models.
Okay.
So I design a data sheet very differently. I want the large language model to understand what the product does. And I give that to the agent-based application that we built so that when there's an opportunity for a sales rep to position that product, the agent in that system knows everything about that product. I've trained it with my knowledge, and it's not just me. Oracle is filled with thousands of people just like me.
No, Michelle, it's not filled with thousands of Michelles, but I see what you mean. All right.
So I'm working with lots of different teams around Oracle, the HCM team and the SCM team, the ERP team, and helping those teams to think about content a little differently now. We still give the content to the sellers, and we still give them, PowerPoints for their customers and all of that. But now we have a new stakeholder, and that's the agents, the AI agents that are running that new sales application. And we had to develop a completely separate set of content to train those agents to be able to advise our sales reps.
Got it. So in the old days, you might have made like a sales sheet or a PowerPoint presentation. But now, what does that look like? Like, tell me, like specifically, did you just like firing this together in a markdown document, or what is it? What are you doing?
It's actually was almost really fun to create these documents.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a different way of thinking. Usually you're trying to get a lot of information, a lot of technical information down into a very concise, very readable format.
Yeah.
And you lose a lot of context in the process. You have to decide what you're going to drop so that it's consumable by a person.
Right.
In this scenario, I can just tell this agent anything I want.
Okay.
Everything I know. Just write it down.
Okay.
And we have all of those assets living in our content already, and just pulling it all together, formatting it in a long PDF that can be vectorized and put into the system for that agent. And then the best part, the most fun part, is then asking the agent, the deal advisor agent, lots of questions about my products, and seeing that it can answer the questions properly is beautiful.
That's really exciting. I mean, it reminds me of that old Churchill quote where he said, this speech, I would have cut it down to 10 minutes, but I didn't have enough time, right? And so it's just, he just makes it a lot longer. And it is hard to make things concise and shorter. So, but that brings up a really interesting point, is that last fact check part, right? Because the other big thing that I think people are afraid of is the hallucinations.
Yes.
So what's your defense against hallucination in this whole new world?
It was definitely the testing phase that got us through that roadblock. Okay. So what we discovered right away was if the information was not comprehensive enough, and this was early on, so we were still in the mindset of just building the content similarly to how we built it for the sales reps. Okay. And so we weren't giving the system enough context, and so it would start to sort of make things up. Yeah. I'm like, wait, CPQ doesn't do that. Yeah. So we got much more thorough with the information we were giving it, and we were telling it what CPQ does and what it does not do, what markets we want to sell into and which ones are not a good fit. So it was much more of a comprehensive thinking exercise to train the agents than it has been to train the sales teams. Okay, yeah. So, there's a joke in there somewhere about salespeople hallucinating about what the products can do, and so. But we'll be nice.
Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll skip that joke. So no hallucinations from AI. No hallucinations from the sales team. Okay. Very good. So. So this sounds like it's a pretty exciting direction for you. What are you doing to get the word out here? Let's talk first about just this show. So we're at AI World. What have you been doing to get the word out about this at AI World?
Well, we have been previewing this with our core customers who came early to talk to the product teams about the future and the roadmap. You'll see the sales orchestration app highlighted in our CX keynote today. Okay. You'll see it in our future of sales demonstrations. So we're working to showcase this as the future. But what I want to be really clear about is that it's already working and it is in production here at Oracle. And we are building a community of early adopter design partner customers who, they're knocking down the door to get access to this application. Nice. What's ended up happening outside of this event is that I do a lot of traveling around to customers to advise them on what are the current AI capabilities of the product. And what I find fascinating is that almost every meeting, especially if we have a CMO in the room, the conversation around AI turns to, how do we get our knowledge and scale, what our product teams know out to the sales reps? Like, how do we get all of those sales reps knowing the same thing and consistently messaging? And like, I have an app for that. It's the number of times that a CMO have sat there and described for me what they want and have it be exactly what we've built, it's very satisfying.
That's awesome. And you've given, 3 talks already at the show? We're kind of like the midpoint here. Yeah. And you've got, one more left?
I have one more. I have a showcase this afternoon where we're going to talk about activating AI features in sales, service, and marketing.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. And what have been the 3 talks that you've given so far?
Those were the more interesting ones, if I'm being honest. So I being in this new AI role, I'm not attached to a specific product. So normally when I come to AI World, it was Cloud World, Open World.
We won't talk about that. Yeah, whatever it was before.
Usually all of the conversations are grounded around what's happening in a very specific product, what's going to happen next, how do I use it, what are other customers doing. That's been my experience at these conferences. With AI, it gets much more theoretical, it gets more strategic. And so the sessions that I've been doing have been more high level, how do we get started on AI? How do we change our mindsets and our skill sets in the world of AI? My first session yesterday was my favorite, and it was geared towards leaders in the CX space and telling them why they are best equipped out of the entire business to take the reins on CX use case or on AI use cases. Okay. Because CX professionals are creative thinkers, and they are so data driven, and they are, they're cross-organizational thinkers already because the customer journey crosses the entire organization. So they don't tend to think in silos as much.
Got it.
And so the use cases coming out of CX are so strong, and I really want to see these sales, service, and marketing leaders shine in this age of AI.
So, there's two kinds of people that I think need to hear this message, right? One is the CX leaders themselves, especially if they're not using Oracle CX, right? So people who are using Oracle, other products, ERP, SCM, and so forth, HCM, and maybe haven't adopted Oracle customer experience tech. What do you say to those people as to why it's better to use Oracle CX AI as opposed to something else?
Because in the future of business applications, those boundaries are going to disappear. In the world of AI agents, an agent will need to traverse processes and workflows that span finance and sales and service and marketing and HR. The boundaries will absolutely disappear. And so the more integrations you have to build, the more agent to agent workflows you need to design and maintain, the harder that's going to be. And so it's such an easy choice to make. If all of your business data, you're running your business on Oracle ERP, your data is already in Fusion, moving on into the CX space is going to unlock so much efficiency in this age where AI is the future.
Okay. And if you're an existing Oracle CX customer but haven't activated these features yet, we talked about the Gen AI as the very beginning, but what is the strategic message to those customers, in terms of them maybe getting into 2026 and thinking about what they're going to do with AI?
There's no time left to wait.
Yeah.
That is the major message. The frequency with which we are going out to customers who have asked to be briefed on AI is rising to the point where we can't keep up. Every customer that I've met with in the last 6 months, their board of directors is asking, what is the plan? How are we going to become an AI first organization? So not turning on AI features that you're already paying for, that's not going to cut it.
Okay, all right, got it. So what does the rest of the year look like for you? The show is going to end tomorrow, and what do you got planned between now and Christmas or the year end?
I think we have notebooks full of follow-ups coming out of this conference for customers who are very interested, especially in the AI Agent Studio, and they want to get hands-on and start building and activating agents. That's definitely going to be the theme of the rest of this year.
Okay. And so for people who want to learn more about this, where do they go? Because Oracle's a huge company, right? So give us a couple places that they can go to start diving in deep about AI for CX.
I think the best place is our Customer Connect community. So
Okay.
For any Oracle customer with any Oracle applications, they have access to our customer community. That's where all of our product experts are, is where our partners are. The conversation is happening there. We have AI forums. We have an AI Agent Studio forum that just launched. So the customer base is there talking about AI, and the resources are flowing into that channel. That's where we did our webinar about a month ago. Every quarter, I get on Cloud Customer Connect and give a tour of all of the new AI features that are coming into the products. So I think that's the best destination.
All right. And for customers that don't know how to get to Oracle Cloud Customer Connect, where do they go?
If you go on to just oracle.com,
Yep.
there's a communities button, and it's pretty easy to navigate from there.
All right. So go there, get live access to the Michelle Brusyo every quarter, plus get to customers, plus get to AI, plus get to demos. It's all right there.
It's all right there.
All right. Great. Michelle, thank you so much for coming on Content Kingdom. We're really glad to have you, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. This was very fun.
All right.